initiative.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wait, are we fighting something?
No recap? I mean, I know where we are, but...
I think I know where we are.
I clearly don't remember what we're fighting.
So you all proceeded down a ladder onto a small island in the Astral Sea, set with an ornate, darkly painted gray manor. And upon opening the front door, where you heard wailing upon yanking hard the cord on the door, you leaned inside and most certainly found blood spattered across the front tiles of the foyer. Seeing the various doors along the lower floor and the stairs to the upper landing, you proceeded, after propping the front door open with a gold-plated umbrella stand with a cane in it, you proceeded through the door on the left, and you found a room with cloth-covered objects. 4 or so boxy, 2 ridged down the middle, and a gold relief along the side wall. And looking at the gold relief, you noticed, of course, that there were only 5 objects in the reflection.
Right.
To which you then proceeded to walk over and, after pressing a stick into the ridged object, you felt that it was soft a bit, but then became quite firm. You found resistance against your prod. To which, of course, you promptly declared, well, we're already in this shit, and proceeded to rip the cloth off of the top, to which you heard a loud snarl.
I'm just using one segment of the dice tower right now.
I rolled a 2, so my initiative is 6.
Let me get my dice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 21.
You have a plus modifier?
I have a +4, yep.
Nice. You suddenly sound real loud. Are you like eating your microphone?
No?
I think I'm just going to bring your volume down. It just sort of sounds like your mic's real close to your mouth all of a sudden, or you've got like your gain turned up really high or whatever.
I don't know.
I'm just going to lower you a little bit. Well, I got a 7.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 21.
Okay. I'm just calculating how many spell slots I have left, and I believe it is 1 second level and 3 first level spell slots left open.
Correct. I will also say that you have about a minute left on this bark skin, so...
That's...
Helpful.
Yes, it is 10 rounds if we... But, you know, I don't know what y'all are gonna do.
Probably something stupid.
I mean, your D&D adventurers, that just comes by default.
I've met me.
I've never done in my life, Dustin, especially not in a role.
You cut out.
I know exactly what he said, and I'm still gonna refute it. What you see underneath, standing roughly waist high, is what at first you would think to be perhaps almost wolf-like. Except as the sheep proceeds to fall away, you see that all of its fur is dragged to one side and almost frozen, as if being pulled harshly to one side, and is almost crystalline.
Okay.
And you see that the jaw and snout are in fact distended and shaped away slightly from this magnetic pole.
Okay.
And as you look closely at it, you see that each of its little claws is split.
Oh,
Each of its little claws is what?
Split.
split.
Oh, okay. Gross.
And as the sheet finishes to drift off of its head, you see its eyes, where it should be fairly standard canine eyes. You see dark onyx-looking spheres with almost starburst pattern glowing.
Awesome.
Neat. So, what's the order here?
Zayden, you go first.
Oh shit! And in a flash of light, I summon my sword.
Okay then.
Yep. So what you guys see is this just glow come from around my right hand, and this like arcane glyph circle, like a spell circle type thing in yellow, just flies out in front of my hand, splits in two, and goes out in either direction, leaving a big old scimitar in midair, which I grab right away. And I believe that is actually an action to summon my sword.
Are you sure?
As a, what are you, a hexblade?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a.
I do not believe that it is. I do not believe it is an action to summon your sword.
I'm pretty certain it's a bonus
No?
action.
Let me take a look. Hexblade's Cursed, Hex Warrior.
Find that again. Hexblade. It's not it. Pact of the Blade. Create packed weapon, one action.
Oh, I guess it is.
Okay then.
Actually, that might not be. There's more details here.
I am just like completely perplexed that they got rid of charging. Like I'm just looking up combat rules, and there's no charge in 5e.
It's not gone. They just nested it under fighter.
So only fighters can charge? That sucks.
Fighters, or you can take it as a feat.
I don't like that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
To be fair, the feat also gives you like some other things.
Is it possible to cast a cantrip as a bonus action? I'm finding where
Cantrip says every spell will say casting time is, which is in bonus action, swift action,
There it is.
and I'm going to assume Eldritch Blast is a
Action, yes.
yep.
Alright, bonus action.
Then a good
Actually, yeah, I'll just Hexblade's Curse.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Alright, which is once per short rest, as a bonus action, choose one creature you can see within 30 feet to curse it for 1 minute, or until the target dies. You die or are incapacitated. Against the cursed target, you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls, score a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20, and you regain 7 HP if it dies.
Yeah, Hexblade's Curse is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Good call.
All right, who's up next?
So what is my
That
Hexblade?
would be the creature.
Now I believe I'm right next to it because I pulled the sheet off.
You sure are. However, you do notice that when Zayden does what he does, the creature in front of you lets out it let out a very aggressive growl when you tore the sheet off, but when it sees what Zayden does, it looks at it and it snarls, and then you watch as the distended, sideways tearing face unhinges its jaw and proceeds to fire out a thorny, spike-covered tongue that proceeds to whip around you, Micah, and flies straight at Zayden.
Wait.
So he's attacking me while the... I guess it's like a whip that just happened to go around you on its way to me.
Sure was a thorny, spine-covered tongue.
Gross. All right.
Kinky. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say a 19 probably hits.
That'd be hold on. I could. I mean, it's the first thing here. Yeah, you know what? I'll take it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and say your armor class is not 19.
No, but I do have a spell that could have helped, but I'm gonna
Oh, I
save it.
see.
I
I
only
see.
have 2 slots.
Fair enough. That is going to be 4 points of void damage.
All right.
Dustin,
Yes.
just in the Discord, you should pin Rick's and Bree's character sheets.
Oh.
Mine as well, so that we can look at them without having to scroll through all of the things.
Right. So, did you say void damage?
Sure did.
I've not heard that damage type before.
That's because it definitely doesn't exist in the regular book.
Okay.
Question.
Yeah.
Void, your proprietary fancy hammer. On things that affect elements, will that work on void as an element?
Yes, depending on what specifically it is, but
Yeah.
Okay, like the absorb elements spell.
yes.
Okay.
Assuming
Yeah, so it's separate from stuff like necrotic or whatever. It's a specific type that is homebrew.
well, it's yes, it's lifted from a source. It's just not a 5e source.
That's fine.
All right.
So who's next? Oh wait, we have to roll your damage because you got thoroughly hit.
Yeah,
No,
you
you
took
said
4.
4
You took 4.
Oh, okay.
So that was the. It proceeds to then hunker down and stare up at you, Micah, and bristles at you.
Who's it staring at? You
Micah.
sort of.
Micah, it's
Cool.
your turn.
Beautiful. Well, I am wild shaped because there's no reason for me to unwild shape. It has no time limit, which is just lovely. So
I thought it was an hour per druid.
nah, wild shape just lasts.
Huh? So how?
Sorry, number of hours equal to half your druid level. That's right. So rounded down. So 1 hour. So my wild shape will run out at the same time my bark skin does.
So you have 10 rounds till it runs away. Yes.
Beautiful. So can I move to flank?
You are standing next to it.
You're already next to me.
Right, but I'm trying to get that advantage.
There is no one else standing near it at the moment.
Oh, I thought it. Okay, so right, never mind. I misunderstood where it went. I'm gonna cast Shillelagh as a bonus action.
Zayden is standing by the gold relief.
Right. So I'm gonna cast Shillelagh as a bonus action.
Okay.
Because that's how that works.
Wait, cat?
Yep, Shillelagh, cast time, 1 bonus action. And then I'm gonna hit it.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit it with my wonderful magic Shillelagh. All goddamn day. That's gonna be that's gonna be a 24 to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably hits. Yeah.
Cool. So that's going to be a D8 and a D8 of bludgeoning damage
Yeah.
and a D6 of poison damage. Plus another 7 on top of that, so that's 17 damage.
Okay.
And spell focus as a bludgeoning tool.
Yeah. Anything else?
Give me a second. Let me just make sure that's focus, circle scores. There we go. Nope, I'm all set.
Fira.
Okay. So this thing is close to me, ish, right?
Well, you had said you had sort of stayed back towards the door to the room.
Right. So I'm further away.
Yes.
Okay. So still within crossbow range?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a sizable room, but it's not that big.
Okay. I'm gonna draw my crossbow. That made sense in my head. And I'm gonna try and shoot the thing,
All right.
I guess.
Go for it.
15 hit?
A 15 does not hit.
Boo.
You watch as the bolt flies out and it proceeds to snap its giant distended jaws around the bolt, snapping it in midair.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, dude.
Alright.
Anything else?
You know what? I'm gonna use my bonus action, and it's closest to Zidon, right?
It's closest to Micah.
It's closest to Micah.
Yeah, it shot its tongue at Zidon.
Gotcha.
I was gonna ask.
So I'm gonna give Micah some bardic inspiration.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. How do you go about inspiring Micah?
Oh god. Well, the crossbow didn't work. She's kind of just like still in her panic mode because that's how she's been lately, and that's how she's probably going to stay for the entirety of this game. And she just kind of, I'm way too tired to do it myself, but she's going to be singing at him, like, very encouragingly, because he hit it, and he hit it good. Imagine singing a version of Push It by Salt and Pepper, but
Please sing this if you can.
I can't because I am fucking exhausted, but we'll dog ear it and I'll have it ready for next
There's
time.
most certainly a rendition of Push It that suddenly fills the room. Micah, you feel this encouragement as she is clearly telling you, push it. You proceed to get a inspiration die. I believe it's a D6 at level 3?
Yes, it is a D6. 1d6.
So you may
Yep, it's a D6 that I can add to an ability,
or skill.
attack roll, or skill. Anything but damage.
It's for, sorry, I should read this. 10 minutes, the creature can add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. This can be added after seeing the roll, but before knowing the outcome.
Yeah, so before I tell you either way, you need to tell me if you're going to use it.
Yep.
All right. So that was an attack and a inspiration. Do you want to move anywhere?
No. I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. Zai.
Plant it.
How far am I from it?
About 15 feet.
All right. Yeah. I'm just gonna fucking Eldritch Blast it.
I summon my sword! Eldritch
Why not?
Blast!
Because why not? I just point my sword at it. Take this! And all right. So let me.
All right.
Oh, wait, that's a 14.
You watch as Zayden proceeds to point this scimitar, which, as far as you can see, actually envelops and somewhat covers his hand. The handguard very much hides his hand underneath it, and there are these sort of rolling tendrils that finish out the guard to hold the blade. And you watch as energy sort of trickles down these tendrils and then very quickly zips down the length of the blade and fires off in a bolt that writhes and swirls as if more of these tendrils fire off in this coil of yellow light. It flies at the creature, but it sees it and very quickly ducks underneath.
Shit!
And the bolt sort of sails back and hits the wall behind it. Zayden, anything else?
Right. So that was action. I have that. I think that's all I can do if I'm not going to move.
You could try to move to flank and get advantage on these attack rolls that you keep whiffing.
Oh, that's a good point. So yeah, I fire.
Advantage for you. He
Oh,
has to
it's
actually fight with the sword if he gets that close.
Right, but I mean, it's his packed weapon, so that'd be good.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I after firing and actually kind of in like the same motion, I fire and start moving and get up opposite Micah on the other side of this thing.
Okay. Its turn.
Cool. Its turn starts with it making a Constitution saving throw.
Sure does.
DC 15.
It just made it.
Okay.
So, does it take any sort of...
I believe if it makes it, it doesn't take any damage. Let me take a quick look.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
All right. That being said, it is nonplussed about the thing that just cracked it in the head with a big stick. So
A big stick with a rock?
Yeah. It will then proceed to take a claw swipe at you. You watch as the writhing, thorny tongue that's kind of curling around it and is buzzing about as almost an extra appendage. It reaches up to take a claw swipe at you and coils itself in its own tongue. It sort of jerks and falls to a shoulder and has to spend the rest of its turn disentangling itself and stands back up.
This thing seems a little confused.
Micah.
Hit it again. Does a 20 hit?
20 does hit.
Ooh, that's max damage. It's 8 plus 6 is 12 plus 7 is 19.
Wow.
It's definitely taken a couple of pretty brutal smacks from that stick. Yeah. Anything else from you, Micah?
No, I hit it with the stick.
Okay. Fira.
Well, just gonna move a little bit closer.
Okay.
Because she's seeing that this thing is getting beaten to shit by a giant rock attached to a stick.
Uh-huh.
And so she's not as afraid of the thing, even though it's fucking weird.
Uh-huh.
And she's gonna try and shoot it again. And that's gonna be a crit fail, so however you want to do.
I was about to say that I was really glad that there aren't any melee. And then I was going to say that I'm really glad in this one instance that there aren't any rules about firing into melee in 5e like there are in 3.5. But then it didn't matter because you crit failed.
Oh.
I would
Yeah.
say, do me a favor and roll a d4.
A what?
A d4.
3.
Okay. Roll another attack.
Uh-oh.
That's gonna be not very good either. That's gonna be 8.
What is going on?
Okay. Zayden, as you are charging in there and getting ready to go, you suddenly watch as a crossbow bolt zips past the front of your face, very nearly stabbing you in the side of the head.
Fira, get a hold of yourself. Fire at that thing! The thing that is not human-shaped.
I'm trying. It's been a while since I've had to use this thing. So she's gonna, as her bonus action to make up for almost hitting him in the face, use Bardic Inspiration for Sidon as well. But it's going to sound a lot like sorry seems to be the hardest word. So,
Very nice.
I try.
Okay. Just as a reminder, each character can only have one of those going at a time, so...
Yes, and we're... Now she's out of ideas, so...
Alright. Zayden.
Alright. I'm going to attack with my Hexblade.
Alright. You are at advantage because you are flanking it.
Right. That is a 17.
17 will hit.
All right. And that is... let me see, +2 +2, which makes that 8 damage.
And,
Take that, you creepy asshole, and I'll take my bonus attack with 2-weapon fighting to hit it with my dagger in my other hand.
Okay.
Which... 18.
That'll hit.
All right.
Now, if I...
Oh, that is 3 damage.
Okay. You watch as Zayden drives this thing right into the thing's shoulder, and as it's snarling and trying to chomp at the blade, Zayden just brings the dagger around and gets it in the other side. Thick, dark, disgusting ichor just spills out of it. It sees that ridiculous... what kind of damage does your blade do?
Which blade?
The packed weapon.
Slashing?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's slashing.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't have like a magical property.
Well, it counts.
Oh, well,
The packed weapon counts as a magical weapon, but it deals slashing
But
damage.
it's still slashing damage. Okay, fair enough.
Makes sense.
I'm playing a Hexblade in another game, so I'm fairly familiar with how they function.
Zydid's gonna lunge to bite at you.
It's still in my range, so it's going to make a Constitution save.
Oh, so it is.
Every time it starts a turn within 10 feet of me, it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
That would be a 14.
14 does not pass, and since I'm in wild shape, the double is damage. Damage is doubled. That's going to be 7.
Wait, it's doubled because why?
When I'm in wild shape, instead of rolling 1d4, I roll 2d4.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
You said
Symbiotic. When I'm.
You said 7 damage?
Yep. Poison damage.
As Zydid pulls back the
Damage.
dagger and that ichor spills forth, you watch as the spores proceed to dig in and tear that wound further and further open, and the beast sort of gives one last and falls unmoving onto the ground.
Wow.
The tongue goes slack next to it.
I'm going to go ahead and dispel skin and wild shape.
Okay.
Because they're about to wear off anyway.
So your entire appearance calms down, pretty much.
Yeah, the various extra purple bioluminescent fungi that sort of flared around me sort of deteriorate, crumble into dust. And my skin goes back to the sort of general grayish hue of a furbolg and no longer has the extra bark-like appearance.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, now
Weird.
that looks weird.
Has anyone seen anything like that before?
Nope.
Can I make a knowledge nature check?
Go for it.
Well, it might not. You know, I don't know what this thing is. Or maybe I do. This roll will decide. Yeah, I super don't.
It's a puppy.
Yeah, because that was a 6 total.
Yeah, this is just fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't like it.
Alright.
Does its corpse have a reflection?
How do you mean?
In the relief.
In the. Oh, I thought it was a. Sorry, it's a relief, not a mirror. For some reason, I thought it was a mirror.
Well, it was acting like a mirror.
It's
Right.
It's finely polished, but importantly, when you do turn to look back, no, it doesn't.
Okay. This has just been sort of a really weird couple of days.
It hasn't.
Micah, give me an investigation check.
I'm okay at that. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. I was confusing investigation with insight. I rolled a 17, though.
Yeah, you actually notice as you're looking from the relief to where the body is lying on the ground, where your staff is giving off light because Zydin cast light on it at the end of last session.
Mhm.
And the light is getting thrown around the room, and it's falling in sort of luminescent, almost a golden, warm, yellowy light all over the different structures and fixtures here. However, as you look at this almost crystalline creature, you see that the light is almost fighting to try and deal with it. Where it should be well illuminated under your staff, it's almost as if it's still lying in shadow.
Huh.
That's interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what any of this is. I also don't much care for it.
Look, shit gets weird out here in the astral sea, so it's this is gonna. I knew this was gonna be a weird trip as soon as we stepped on this floating island, but geez, the fact that light can't get. Huh. Well, this was the only weird thing in the reflection. I wonder what's under these other sheets. Probably just furniture, right?
I mean, we can check.
I go over and check one of them. Move the sheet off.
Okay, there are. Again, it runs in sort of 3 rows. There are the 2 with the ridged objects that both stand about waist-high height, and then there are the 4 boxy ones, 2 in each of the outside rows.
Whichever is closest to where we are right now, I'd say.
If you're all standing around the body, the sort of right-hand row between where this thing was and the gold relief, one of the boxy ones is in the outside row.
Sounds good. Yeah. Wait, did you just give an option of 2? I kind of cut out a bit.
Just there are 5 other sheet-covered things in the room, so I'm just trying to figure out which one you're.
Yeah, I was just. Yeah, I'm having a slight issue in visualizing the room at the moment. So I'm just being the closest one.
From the door of the foyer, you are essentially running 2 deep into the room. From left to right, there is a boxy shape, a ridge shape, a boxy shape, and then behind that there is a second boxy shape, the second ridge shape, which is now, as you have seen, this dog-like creature, and then another boxy shape. And to the right of those 2 boxy shapes on the right is where the gold relief is up on the wall.
I see. So, yeah, the boxy shape towards the relief.
Okay. As you pull the sheet back, you find underneath a glass case. And inside is a ornate dagger in a black scabbard.
Fancy.
Isn't that interesting? If I can, I'm gonna look around the box, see if it can open.
You do find a key slot on the side of the display.
Okay. Is it unlocked or?
It does not appear to be.
Anyone have any way of getting through this? Or, I mean, we could just break the glass, I guess, but something about that feels wrong.
Yeah, this is weird. This is very weird.
I do not have a lockpicking kit. I have a crowbar.
It's behind some glass, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna hit it with my shillelagh.
Oh. After I literally just said that breaking the glass feels wrong. Excellent.
Could be worse.
That's gonna be a 7. 22.
Fantastic.
23. Sorry, 23.
The front pane of glass shatters into the case.
So who wants to take the dagger?
Not me, because I already suck with the weapons I have.
Can I make like an Arcana check or something to see if anything about it looks magical? I know I don't have identify or anything like that, but
What you want is detect magic.
Or that, yeah. Which
I
I do not have.
mean, you can make an Arcana check.
Nah, I'm gonna ritual cast Detect Magic.
Oh, you have it. Okay.
Yeah, I always have Detect Magic prepared. If we have the time, I'm just gonna ritual cast it so it doesn't eat a spell slot.
You guys watch as he proceeds to start chanting under his breath and waving his stick around. And
Phrasing.
after a minute or two, you realize this is going to take a few minutes.
Let's see.
It takes 10 minutes to ritual.
I think it's 10 minutes.
I'm like 90% certain it's 10 minutes for.
Yeah, that's most ritual casts is 10 minutes.
I think some things have a designated ritual time of longer, but I think by default.
Well, since he's going to be taking time with that, I'm going to start removing the sheets from the others.
Yes, it's 10 minutes.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and Detect Magic.
Okay. While you are working on that, Zayden, you are removing sheets. Where do you remove sheets from next?
I'm just going to work my way around. So I guess it would be looking at the one I just... Looking at the relief, I'm moving to the right.
Okay. You go to the other boxy one in that row. When you pull the sheet back, you find a withered, dry, mummified hand suspended in the case.
Interesting. Okay. Wait for that whole detect magic thing to go off. So next, I guess I'm moving back to the what'd you call it? A ridged one?
Yeah.
Fira, are you just following along while I?
Yeah, she's kind of watching and like what's going on. She's still like a little pissed at herself because she almost shot you in the face. You know,
That's fair.
I'm also.
Hey, no harm, no foul.
Well, yeah, you know.
Fira, you doing okay? Yeah. I know it might be kind of freaked out that you almost hit me there, but it's no problem really. I've dealt with worse. I had to go through some training before I went out adventuring. Though most of my training comes from the short journey I had. Nothing could prepare me for this thing. Yeah, while we're talking, I'm taking the sheet off the ridged one.
You pull back and you immediately jump back as you see another one of those crystalline dog-like creatures.
Oh, shit.
However, after a moment, it doesn't appear to move, and as you sort of squint and stare much more closely at it, you notice that this one is not moving or aware, and that it doesn't appear to have any eyes. It actually appears to be more of a set of the hide stretched over more of a mannequin.
The hide stretched over what?
A mannequin.
Oh. Well, it looks like this one's fake. Thing. Oh, I should note that I do still have my sword out.
Good to know.
So I'm still holding this glowing scimitar as
you should poke it and make sure that it is in fact
I mean, if you just look under the pelt here, it's wooden.
Okay.
You wanna take the one off the next one?
I mean, sure. So Fira will move over to the next one. And
so when you pull that sheet back from the left case closest to the windows,
okay.
inside you see suspended a helmet with long panels along the side and back and 3 long purple pinion feathers in a row along the top of the helmet. And there's definitely like a large gash ripped out of the side of the plate.
Some weird stuff in this room.
Yeah, it seems to be a bunch of stuff on display, but not entirely sure what for.
So well, we know it's not a museum or anything. So this is a collection room?
Well, it depends on whether or not anyone still lives here, or who knows, maybe he got taken out by this thing we just took out.
That would make sense.
I'm just off at the side, wiggling my stick around.
No, I know. I mean, a little bit of chatting and yanking sheets off. It hasn't been quite 10 minutes.
I just like painting the scene.
So we're just chatting, looking at things. Is there still one that's covered, or
Yes,
did we
there
get them
is.
all? All right, I'll go over and remove the last sheet.
Okay, so you pull it back, and much like the other cases around the room, suspended inside is a skeleton.
Okay.
Some manner of creature, but it's down to just the bones. You do see that it has spiny protrusions that you're pretty sure are wings.
Spiny protrusions that I'm sure are what?
Wings.
Wings. Okay. What does the skeleton resemble? Animal-wise. Like, is it a little monkey? Is it dog-like? Bat-like?
Give me a nature check.
Ah, okay. I didn't hear you say that.
Sorry,
if you
I
said
must
it
have
before.
broken up there.
Yeah, it tends to happen.
Hold it.
Where's my nature? 14.
It appears to be reptilian.
Ooh. All right.
All right.
See, I have a bit of an idea, player-wise. I don't know if Zayden would know what a pseudo dragon is.
I would say he's decently well read on it, and if you jumped there yourself, yeah, it looks like it could probably be the skeleton of a pseudo dragon.
Oh. You got a little pseudo dragon here. Excellent. You know, those guys make great pets if you got the right one.
Micah, you do finish your detect magic. Hold on, I just need to...
I can see a faint aura around any creature, object in the area that bears magic, and I learn its school of magic.
Absolutely.
If any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or wood or dirt.
Okay. But like a verifiable barrier. Glass doesn't count.
No, I could see it right through glass.
Okay. You do see that there are magical auras around the dagger, around the hand, and around the skeleton.
Can I identify what the schools of magic are?
Yes. Around the dagger is, you know that the school around the dagger is evocation. The spell over the hand is an enchantment. And the spell over the skeleton is necromancy.
Well, so the dagger here is evocation.
Okay.
So you're gonna open up that dagger and a big old fireball's gonna fly out or something. I don't know. I'm not a wizard. The hand is enchant. So that's, take that for what you will. And the skeleton is necromancy, which is a little on the nose if you ask, but
Just a lot.
So either with a little pseudo dragon skeleton, either we open it up and it comes to life and attacks us, or it comes to life and befriends us.
That's a possibility, I guess. That's a thing that could happen.
I have a weird question out of this. Would anima friendship potentially work on that skeleton? Potentially, if all the criteria was met.
Say that again?
Anima friendship.
So if it reanimates and it's living skeleton, will animal friendship, the spell, work?
Potentially be effective, yeah.
No, because it's undead and no longer an animal.
Okay.
Technically.
Just checking.
Does Micah know that?
No, this is an item. This is an aside.
Something? You know something? Given circle.
Yeah,
You
that's
cut
fair.
out.
That's fair. Micah totally clarifies. No, not so much.
It wouldn't work like that. Well, I mean, given that circle of spores is nature's necromancer.
Yeah. In this particular instance, Micah is well versed in the specifically you're asking about. Not so much.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Interesting.
Just kind of shrugs. I tried, I can't do it, but I can try.
Now I think this is all taking away from the point that we're here to find fancy space wood, right? Like, that's our job.
Right. However, I mean, if we get some cool-ass equipment in the meantime, then that's just more compensation, right?
Alright, then you grab the spook.
Honestly, why not?
Oh boy.
I'm going to reach into the already broken one and grab the knife.
Okay.
Or the dagger.
You pick up the dagger.
Yeah.
When selling yourself as
Do I notice anything weird, or is it just a dagger?
It appears to be a dagger.
Cool. All right, I put it, attach it to my belt with the rest of my equipment.
Okay, you now have a dagger and a black scabbard.
Okay.
That mummified hand looks pretty creepy, but I'd be willing to check out the skeleton if you guys are.
That's on you.
We're gonna go ahead, Dustin, if this works. Let me just think about something real quick. What exactly does this do? I wonder. It's probably a bad idea, but whatever. Open up the case, dude. Do what you want to do.
Vera distinctly makes it known that she is taking a couple steps away.
Okay, just for the sake of my own knowledge, which direction have you walked?
Behind Micah.
Okay, that's fair.
So, well, okay. Micah, would you like to do the honors, break the glass, see what happens? Or
No, this is your deal. You get to make that decision.
Nothing to be too scared of. I take my sword, which is still in my hand, and the pommel of it just.
As you rear back.
Actually, wait. Before I do that, I'm going to check if it's unlocked or not.
It does not appear to be.
So it is locked. Okay.
Yes.
And we'll go back to where we were. Sorry.
As you pull back to swing your pommel, you do watch as the head of the skeleton turns around and looks in your direction.
Fantastic.
I freeze as soon as I see that. Well, would you look at that? Did you guys see that?
Start with a lot of ice.
Fear pokes her head from behind Micah. See what?
I didn't expect you to, but I lean up to the glass and just tap on the glass a bit with my finger. Just to.
Okay.
It sort of gets down from where it's hung and walks close to the glass and looks where your finger is.
Hey, buddy. You okay in there? If we let you out, you gonna be nice? Is there any reaction?
It's a little hard to read. The skull.
I mean,
This is what insight checks are for. Ha! 2 insight check on the reanimated skeleton of the pseudo dragon to determine its intentions. Look, insight was good for. Decides whether you can determine the true intentions of a creature, such as when searching out someone's next move.
Go ahead and roll
I mean, if it helps, I also.
No, I did. I did roll it. I got a 22.
Oh, usually you notice that its wings are tucked back and the spine is most definitely curved downward. It's poised.
Yeah.
It is watching that finger very carefully.
Yeah, that's it's probably gonna attack if you open up the glass.
All right.
Probably.
I'll believe you there. Perhaps we leave him alone.
Yeah, I don't really see a need to deal with this.
That's fair. You guys interested in either of the other things, or do we just
The hand is enchanted.
I mean, that could be a number of things. To be honest, I have a very distinct idea of what it might be out of character. But I.
Well, it doesn't help us in character. That doesn't help us in character.
No, I just don't know if Zayden would know what a monkey's paw is. Or if he would even know what a monkey is.
Fair.
Yeah, so I've done my thing. So.
I'm gonna keep looking for this fancy space.
All right.
I feel like this creepy space spook house is probably not a safe place for us to be, and I'd like to not be here anymore.
Let's go find, we need the wood. We need to find wood.
I'm with you. Let's go.
Right? So, let's head out. Back into the parlor, foyer, whatever.
Okay. You return to the foyer.
Okay.
you as you cross back to the middle of the foyer, you hear "Come, come, come"
From which direction?
from the front of the house. You do turn back to see as the door is fluttering in the cold breeze of the island and gradually sort of banging from the open position back to hitting the gold bucket that you have propped it open with.
Oh boy.
Ha! Told you it was a good idea to prop that open.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you got that. That was a good plan.
So what are our options here for?
There's the door across the way in the front of the foyer. There are 2 doors in the back of the foyer, and the 2 curved master staircases that meet up on the second landing, and the 2 hallways that go off to either side up there.
So what do you guys say we just kind of work around the place? Gesture off to our right.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. That, yeah.
All right. So we go to the. I'm assuming. Are we looking at the staircase? Are we on the left or right side?
Look, well, from where you are right now, the staircases are in front of you.
I mean, where did we come out of? Where was that room?
Oh, that was the door in the left front of the
On
foyer.
the left. Okay, so I'll head towards the left of the staircase behind it. If I'm remembering this layout correctly.
Sure.
So we went left. Now we're going left forward.
Sure. You proceed left forward, and as you push open the door, you see inside a large, well-stocked kitchen.
Okay.
Hey, found the kitchen. All right.
Do you? I guess Micah still has light on his staff.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a lie, because you cast Hexblade's Curse.
Wait,
Is light a
I believe so.
I'd be very surprised if light was concentration.
No, it is a cantrip.
Well, that doesn't.
And
Yeah, it lasts an hour.
Oh, all right. Well, then, yeah, you definitely. You still have. You have.
yeah,
light
the
on
the
staff.
spell ends if you cast it again or dismiss it as an action.
Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty certain that wasn't a concentration spell.
Yeah, no.
Because that would not be worth a concentration slot.
No.
Give me Zayden, give me an investigation check.
All right. That is 21.
Okay. As you look around and stick your head into the room, you do. Your nose curls up at a very sickly, sweet, unpleasant odor.
So that's it?
It smells as if something is rotten and decayed in here.
Well, something tells me they still had the larder stocked when the residents vacated. Because that's just rot right there. That's rot, right?
That's right.
That's rot. All right.
100% right.
I'm going to search around to see if there's any sealed bottles. I'm looking for liquor.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Because that doesn't rot.
That is true.
Yeah, a sealed bottle of booze will investigation. 16?
Sure. You press into the room and you quickly throw open some cabinets. You find dust-covered dishware, silverware that looks as if it has tarnished a bit, and most definitely the rot of some food left to the counters, and the pungent odor picks up further as you step to a door towards the back of the kitchen.
I head that way, I guess.
Okay. You open it.
Yeah.
You open it, and the smell becomes infinitely worse. It proceeds to waft over you as very much you open the pantry, and there are a series of Mike, it actually doesn't bother you very much at all. You are very familiar
I'm
with
gagging,
this.
probably.
For the other two of you, in fact, I would say, are either of you standing near Micah when he does this?
No.
Not like right up next to him,
All right.
but like a few feet back, maybe.
I'm maybe 5 feet into the room.
It is pretty nauseating when he opens the door, but if you're not standing right there, you're okay. Micah, you live with this smell every day. You're not that worried about it. You do see shelves of food that are very much covered in mold and mildew and rot. You do see a downward ladder towards the back of the pantry.
Do I assume I have yet to find any, so I'm going down towards that ladder.
Okay. You proceed down the ladder into a space that is filled with several empty racks. There's one set of smaller racks by the wall, and a rows of larger shelving racks. And you suspect that a series of bottles and kegs once adorned this room.
Do I find anything there now?
You find one broken open keg towards the back of the room, and as you crouch down to look at it, you do see behind the smashed up pieces a roughly 3-foot hole in the wall.
A 3-foot what? I'm sorry?
Hole in the wall and a tunnel going back from it.
Hey, I shout up the ladder because I assume nobody followed me down here.
Nope.
Hey, I found there's like a tunnel down here.
Tunnel?
It's probably worth investigating.
All right, I hop down there with him. Does it look like it was dug from here or into here?
I don't know, man. I'm not a tunneler.
Fair enough. I'm gonna look around, make an investigation
Yeah,
check.
go
See
for it.
if,
Fira's gonna follow eventually. Just kind of handling the small cry.
14.
It's hard to tell, but you do see that the bricks, because it's a stone finish to the room. You do see that the bricks that make up the wall before the dirt starts are sort of scattered about on the floor.
Mhm. Alright, so looks like whatever took out whoever lived here might have come from here, dug into the cellar.
Huh.
But from where? This is just an island. There's nothing else around.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Oh, do you think this could have been part of a larger space island and kind of broke away? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, that could make sense. Not a ton of sense, but it could make sense. I mean,
Would
could
you
make a
mind?
ton of sense.
From upstairs, you hear
Like a.
like a bell.
Okay. Can I roll some type of check to see if I can tell what kind of bell it is?
Sure. Give me an insight check.
17.
You are pretty sure that it's not very large and is probably made of some kind of copper or brass.
Okay. It's like a maid's bell or a dinner bell.
Seems like it could be the case.
Okay. Somebody's calling somebody.
Mhm.
But they're. Well, I mean, didn't see anybody there.
Do you think someone else came down from the ship? Actually, that's. We
I
can
don't.
talk to them, can't we?
Yeah, we have the box, and she
Oh,
pulls out the
does it
box.
work? Does it work inside?
Can find out. She opens up the box. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear us?
Ground team, is that you?
Yes.
Oh, yep. We are that.
Yeah, we're here.
What's going on? Is everything all right?
Did anyone else come down?
What do you mean, anyone else?
Other than us,
Fantastic.
Uh,
That means no.
no.
Alright.
Guess we'll have to go and check out that noise then. Alright. Thanks, we'll be on our way.
She shuts the box and tucks it away. Kind of looks at the other two. Well, we're going at it again.
So, whatever came in here definitely came from this hole, which means probably not a place we want to go.
Yep.
So let's head back up. Head back up.
Good call. So she refuses to go for it.
Zaiden and Fira, you definitely head upward. Micah, you going?
I mean, I want to see what's in the tunnel, but we should probably go see what that ringing was.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take a minute and take a look down the tunnel, I won't really stop you.
Yeah, I want to see what's down the tunnel. I've got this light. I'm going to see what's down the tunnel.
Okay.
So let's speed up and look for clues.
You proceed down the tunnel. You have to get on your hands and knees to crawl through this space. It is only 3 feet tall, and for the near half giant man.
Yeah. So I head on through. I'll hands and knees it.
Okay. You crawl through, and beyond the initial sort of front bit to the tunnel, it proceeds downward at a slope after several feet, and proceeds to curve around to the left, continuing in a downward descent, but almost swings entirely back around in the other direction, and continues down. After about, I would say, 10 minutes, give or take, your light finds a wood cover on the other end of the tunnel.
I found like a lid, like a trapdoor. This is probably a trapdoor. I'm gonna open it. I open it.
Who are you talking to?
Himself
Just
at this
shouting
point.
back down the tunnel to anyone who's there.
Okay, you did crawl through this tunnel for 10 minutes.
Yeah, shout real loud.
Okay.
Look. Micah's only vaguely aware of his surroundings.
That's completely fair. In that 10 minutes, Zidane and Fira, you went back upstairs, yes?
Yes.
Okay, you are back in the kitchen.
Okay. I'm gonna look around and see if I can find any thing there, or see if I can find this bell.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
13.
Yeah, it's not terribly hard. You look and you see right near the door back out to the foyer, there are actually 3 different bells hung up on the wall there.
Okay. So I may look like what I heard. So I'm assuming. So
They are metallic bells.
yes. Cool. So I'm gonna we should probably head out this way. Whatever it was went this way. And or came from this way.
You do see that all 3 bells are tied at their tops to little hinges and ropes that disappear into the wall.
Into where?
Into the wall.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not weird. Alright. I'm gonna actually tug on the rope for the bell in the middle.
Okay. The rope gives a little bit.
Okay, and I'm gonna take half a step back and just kind of look around again and determine that it's on the other side of that wall, obviously. And
You know that the other side of that wall is the foyer.
hallway.
The wall is
the foyer.
Okay. So I am going to head out there cautiously and see if I can find the ends of those ropes.
As you head outside, give me a perception check.
19.
Okay. You do step out there, and you see, as you look along the exterior of the wall, there appears to be a long faded portrait of a man and a woman. The woman is sort of seated, doing the very hands on her folded on her knees, and the man's kind of standing next to her, doing the tall posturing thing with a hand on her shoulder.
Is there a corner missing from this painting, by any chance?
Is there a what?
A corner missing?
No.
Okay. Doesn't look familiar at all?
No.
Okay.
It appears to be a sort of regal-looking elven couple.
Okay.
But you look up along this portraiture, and you actually see up along the roof where the 3 ropes very briefly exit the wall. And
Okay.
one appears to run off into the roofing towards the front of the house again.
Okay.
One runs along the underside of the upper landing towards
Okay.
the room in the front right.
Okay.
And then one appears to pass into the upper floor.
Into the...
Upper floor.
Okay.
But they disappear very quickly into the fixtures again.
Okay. I'm going to follow the rope to the front of the house first.
Okay. Following it along the edges of the wall, it does eventually lead over to that room on the front right.
The one that we came out of?
No, you were in the front left.
Okay, I don't know directions.
Well, I guess it would be the front right if you're approaching the front of the house again. I keep referring to everything as if you're looking from the front door.
So if I'm approaching the front of the house again, isn't it the room that we just came out of? I'm so tired, I'm sorry. I'm so confused. It's not the room we came out of, it's the other one.
One is where you guys found the collection and fought the dog beast thing. 3 is the kitchen. The S's are where the grand staircases start and lead to that dotted line, which is the upper landing, and the 2 hallways
Okay.
that go off to either side. You have not been in rooms 2 and 4 yet. Following the rope in the front of the house, the rope goes to room number 2.
Okay.
And the door is in the wall between 1 and 2.
Okay. Is the door shut?
To 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. She's gonna knock on the door.
Okay. Zed, what are you doing through all of this, by the way?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out because. All right, so Micah went down the tunnel,
Yep.
and
He's in the
Fira
process
just
of
went.
crawling downward at the moment.
Yeah, and Fira just went back up the ladder into the kitchen, out into the foyer.
Yes.
I think Zayden would have followed Fira.
Okay.
So I'm out in the foyer too.
So you watch as she reaches over and knocks on the door.
Mm-hmm.
After a moment, no response.
Okay, so I'm gonna look back at Zaiden and
Oh, I'd
kind
come.
of like make that prolonged backward eye contact before I just kind of push the door open. Learned nothing from today.
Okay. The door swings open. Inside are two long cloth-covered objects in the center of the room. A table between them, and a long mirror over a fireplace.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
as you do you step into the room?
Yes.
As you step into the room, you do briefly notice where you were following the rope. On the inside of the door, there is a long end of the rope with a tassel on it.
Nice.
Huh. Interesting.
So at least that's where the bell is. And so, should we check like we did before, or?
I don't see why not, but Micah is still down below. Should we go check on him or keep going up here? I mean, he can handle himself, but
Can we handle ourselves?
probably.
Okay.
I don't see why I couldn't, but
I can hide.
As you debate this, I would say, Micah, given how long it took them to follow the rope and sort of poke and prod things, you come to about 10 minutes at this point. So you come to the wood covering.
Okay. I'm gonna push it open.
Okay. It swings open. On the inside, you find damp, muddy ground, and in the exact center of that room is a column of faint light, and then a larger tunnel beyond it on the far side.
I didn't come this far to not go check out another tunnel.
Okay.
I feel like this character, as much as he doesn't have dark vision, would be fairly comfortable in dark places. What with the bioluminescent fungus?
Sure.
also you still have
You
light.
also have a light.
Yeah, and I have light, so like dark enclosed spaces as big as I am, totally chill with.
Oh yeah, yes, no, I'm not concerned with you being afeared of your situation.
So, well, that's just the mindset behind this right now. He's just like, yeah, all right, and he just keeps going.
Okay, so you crawl out of the sort of 3-foot tunnel, and you are now standing in this round, cavernous room. And there is a larger tunnel beyond.
It's a lot of tunnels. I have one of the.
Sorry?
We only have one of those communication boxes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. Well, how big is this cavern?
So you look around, and the cavern goes about 30 feet up and sort of comes to a domed top, where it then meets a stone ring with a hole in the center where the faint light is coming down through.
I'm gonna head towards that, I guess.
Okay. Do you step into the faint light in the center of the room?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. You step in there, and you notice that there are some chipped and overgrown paving stones. And as you look up, they actually match the sort of paving stones of the ring above you, and you see a long stone tube and little dots of starlight above it.
Hmm. So I see starlight up through this tube.
Yes.
So it's just a tube coming out of the ceiling that the light's coming through.
Yes.
How big is the tube?
It looks to be, give or take, a little more than 5 feet across.
Oh, okay. How far up from me is it?
The beginning of the tube,
Yeah.
30 feet. The cave goes up about 30 feet. And actually, give me a perception check.
30 feet, you say? Perception, you say?
Yes.
Perception, that's going to be a 14 total.
Okay. Up, where you think there's probably a full set of stars at the other end of the tube. Some of it is obscured by what appears to be kind of a wood plug shape, some sort of wood disc, and then half bits of some kind of thatching behind it.
Okay, and that's up through the tube.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I didn't think that this spell would be particularly useful when I prepared it. But I happened to prepare the jump spell today.
Oh.
Which triples your jump distance. And having just looked up the rules on jumping straight up, you jump into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier.
Yeah.
You said it's what, 10 feet?
To the beginning of the tube, it's 30 feet.
Oh, 30 feet. Never mind. That's not going to be enough. So instead, I'll wild shape into...
Wild shape into...
like a bird.
Okay.
A CR 1/4 bird.
Sure.
Oh, wait, nope. I can't wild shape into anything with a flying speed. Shit.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it does designate that, doesn't it? You can, have a swim speed, but...
No, not at level 2 you can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't wild shape into something with a swim speed until 4th level.
You
And you
eventually get a fly speed.
Yeah, at 8th level, you can wild shape into something with a CR of 1.
Okay.
And a flying, and with no limitations.
Gotcha.
Outside of, challenge rating.
Right.
So here's
oh shit! Wait, I have a thing for this. Because we discussed this.
Okay.
We discussed exactly this. I'm gonna use Thorn Whip.
Oh boy.
What?
What?
I just gotta say for a second, I know exactly what that tube is and where you're gonna end up if you
It's a
go.
range of 30 feet.
Shut up, Rick.
Thorn Whip has a range of 30 feet.
Yes, it does.
And you and I discussed using Thorn Whip as a utility spell.
You may do
That is excellent.
exactly what you just described.
Oh god.
That is excellent.
So I look up at the light tube. I ponder for a few moments. And then I launch my weird fungus whip out of my staff. Where I suppose it sticks into a wall and I just start climbing.
It proceeds to wrap itself around one of the hard flagstones and yanks you straight upward.
No, it'll only pull me 10 feet. I'll have to do climbing after that.
I will say, by the nature of what I'm letting you do with it, as long as it's within range and you are not interrupted by matters such as combat, you may pull yourself the entire 30 feet.
Thorn Whip cantrip.
Oh, and it's a cantrip. That's great.
My two cantrips are Shillelagh and Thorn.
Oh, Jesus.
By sheer nature of you would simply do it once and then just do it again. I'm okay if you just pull yourself the entire way. If you attempt something like this in the midst of combat, we will have conversations about what
Right.
progress.
It's
Right.
It's a grappling hook.
Yes, when I was building this character, when I was workshopping it with Dustin, I brought this up and said, "Can I use Thorn Whip as a grappling hook?" And Dustin said yes, and now we're doing that.
I so approve.
I'm gonna work Thorn Whip.
I would say the tube appears to be about 30 more feet.
Okay.
To the top.
All right.
So
That's just a second cast of Thorn Whip.
I was just curious if you were going to attempt to climb it, or if you were just going to throw yourself.
I have a strength of 9, so if I can do something that doesn't require me to roll athletics, I'm going to do the thing that doesn't require me to roll athletics.
You can just throw yourself to the top there. As you pull yourself up to the top.
Oh my god, it worked.
like a groundhog, you proceed to pop yourself up out of the dilapidated well in the front yard and see where your ladder drifts slightly from the ship.
Interesting. I guess I'm going to go from here to the front door.
Okay. You proceed to open the front door just about the moment where you do see that, unlike before, the front right room's door is slightly ajar. And
Well.
hear footsteps.
I'm going to try to stealth.
You guys just straight threw that open. As Fira described, the front door that side door was just thrown open because no lessons were learned.
Yep.
So you actually just see the two of them standing in the room.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
And you guys notice as light suddenly appears in the foyer behind you.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you just...
What did you...
Hold up.
The tunnel leads to a cavern, and the cavern has a tube, and the tube is the well out front.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all very turns and roundabouts.
Well, that at least answers one question. The well has run dry.
Yes. So you guys find anything interesting?
Well, we found you.
There appears to be a number of bells here. I don't know which one caused the scream from the one on the pool rope outside, but the one we heard led here. So we are now all three of us in this room?
So we should go back and follow another one of the bell strings. We found this bell.
Well, yeah, but what about what's in this room? Anything?
Oh, the sheet-covered things. That's right, we were going to check those. I got...
Well,
You showed up out of nowhere, okay?
Well, there's two of them. Shall we each take one? Pull them off
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that seems the safest.
Hold on a second.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hold on. The sort of brackety things are the two long sheet-covered...
There has to be a better way for us to do this.
The F's are where the fireplace is. That dotted section along the left is the long mirror over the fireplace. Obviously, the door you came in is at the bottom there, and then those are windows.
Alright, so first, before we move towards the sheet-covered things, I'm going to look in the mirror and see if anything is missing a reflection.
Not in this room.
Okay.
I will say, Zayden, do you look in the mirror?
Yes.
That thing that you saw in the other one is also here.
All right. I don't react to it at all.
I didn't think you would. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. So, let's go forward and start uncovering things, I
I
suppose.
will say that there are tall, rounded lumps, roughly speaking, along the elongated shapes about every space where there is a bracket.
So these aren't big flat things. They're
Nope, they are lumpy and
Fun.
all right.
Okay.
Actually, how long are they? Maybe more practical to both take a sheet on one and pull it off.
they are about 20 feet long.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
more practical. So, left or right?
Let's take the one away from the fireplace.
Okay.
So to the right.
Okay. So we move towards it.
Yep.
Okay.
We're each gonna take a side and pull off the sheet. If you notice
Micah, where are
anything
you
strange.
at?
I'm just sort of meandering about the room. Let's see. Those are the squares are the lumpy sheet covered things, right?
Yep.
And what's the O?
There's a small table between them.
And the W's are windows?
Yes.
All right. I think I'm just sort of watching from.
Oh, and there's also a down by this door at the bottom. There is a tasseled cord right to the right of the frame.
There's a tassel to the right of the frame?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm pulling the tassel.
Okay. You hear from deeper within the manor.
Neat.
Okay.
So that bell we heard led us here.
So as you proceed to yank the sheet back, you hear a chorus of as
Neat.
you proceed to uncover 4 rotted corpses seated across the couches.
Nice.
Oh.
Are they friendly?
As the sheet falls back, you watch as translucent blue spirits drift up out of them with howling anguish. And I believe that will be initiative next session.
Thank you for joining us this episode. We'll be back next week with more Astraling. If you are enjoying the journey so far, feel free to tell other folks. The more people that want to jump in on our miscreant adventure here, we would be happy to share this journey with them. And we'll see you on the sea next week.